The old life, it's an old life. One you have already lived. One you do not have to keep on living. You are too wondrous for one life. Hi guys, welcome back to The Open Hearts. My name is Iulia and I'm going to be your host for today. I'm so glad to be back and to record this episode for you, simply because I love researching, I love learning, and I also love to share my curiosities with you. So, as we are setting into a new year, we may as well think of this entire year as a blank page, a new chance to start again and to get better, to connect with others in a deeper way, to love more, to laugh more often, and perhaps to let go of some old beliefs, some judgments, and some criticisms. Or at least, for me, this is the case. And I was just reflecting about the fact that if we are in a long relationship for many years with our partner, after a while we try to find ways to discover our partner again, to fall in love again, and not to take them for granted, to enjoy these fresh feelings of love and discovery of the other. For me, I see the beginning of this year as a chance to apply these things to myself. I'm exploring some ways to fall in love with myself again, to restart, to rediscover my beauty, my qualities, my talents, my strengths. It's an ongoing process. I feel like the self-love comes and goes at different times in our journey. And it is dependent, of course, on the life that we are leading, on our pattern of thinking, on the habits that we have on a daily basis. But today, this month, this year, I want to live in this blissful feeling of self-love and self-appreciation. At the beginning of each year, I like to set a word as an intention that will guide me throughout the entire year. So last year I have done it as well, and I have chosen a word in January, and that word was patience. Due to some struggles that I was overcoming in my personal life and due to some challenges, I thought that patience is what I needed the most to get through. So whenever I was in need, this word came like a mantra, guiding me and helping me throughout my journey and throughout my year. And this year, I'm choosing a new word, and the word that I'm choosing, it's love. And I mean love with all its implications, but mostly love in the sense of connecting to the people in my life, to my family, my friends, my close ones, in a deeper way. I would like also to be able to show up in a more loving way for myself and for the people around me, to be able to let go of some barriers, some preconceptions and judgments, to act from a place of presence, awareness, from a place of love and understanding. Simply because I feel like sometimes life challenges us. There are some struggles, there are some situations, and also there are some people that can trigger different sides in us. And I'm not judging this kind of people because, on the other hand, I can trigger certain things in other people. It's like just certain triggers that we give to one another. And to become a bit more aware of that, and to be able to act from a place of presence and awareness, and to remain in any situation good and kind, regardless of any external factors. And that's because I was reflecting upon some things, and one thing that I want for myself is to make sure that I won't become a bitter person as a consequence to some events, to some interactions, to some situations, because I feel like there is some darkness out there, there's some heaviness, but there is also light and there is also love. And I want to choose the light and the love for me, for today, for every day. And this year I feel like I'm planning to be even more aware about this. Although I think I was already quite aware, I feel like this year is going to be kind of at the center of my interest and of my being. And as my favorite poet Rumi says, and you will probably hear me say his name often because he's one of my favorite poets. He says, when there is love in your heart, only love will come out. And since my chosen word for this year is love, what I would like to share in this episode, it's 5 tools for an increased self-love. And I hope these 5 tools can help you and can help me as well throughout my year and throughout my journey to self-love. And before I'm going into these tools, I would like to ask you some questions and we can reflect together about these questions. So, what are your fundamental beliefs about yourself? How are you talking about yourself? How do you feel to be in your own shoes, in your own body, in your own mind? And as you're asking yourself these questions, try to notice what kind of emotions and feelings are surfacing. Are you speaking to yourself and about yourself from a place of love, compassion, and understanding? Or is it more from a place of self-judgment and criticism? There's no wrong or right answer. This is more an exercise for you to figure out what kind of relationship you have with yourself. So just take a moment to become aware of your inner dialogue. Are there some old ideas, some beliefs that you perhaps need to let go of? Or are there some thoughts that can be improved? And as you're reflecting about yourself, I will start sharing the tools for today. So the number 1 is think about yourself in a positive way. I think it's the first step into this journey of self-love. It's to think about yourself in a positive way. And then secondly, together with this overview of positivity, I think hand in hand it goes the idea of respecting yourself. And if you don't respect yourself, simply ask yourself this question, why? Are there some things, some actions, some thoughts that you do or say that make you lose your self-respect? I did this kind of introspection for myself as well in the past. And I spent some time thinking, what would make me gain a lot of self-love and respect for myself? And what I figured as I was asking these questions was that they were very related to my own set of values and principles, because I think in the core of our own being we all have a set of values and principles that is like our own set of rules. It's not connected to anybody else. It's not related to your parents, your family, your colleagues, your friends. It's your own set of values. It's your own principles. And deep down, you know them. And if the life you are leading, it's not according to this set of values and principles, if they are not aligned, you are not able to be happy. You are not able to show up for yourself with love and with respect. So I think it's very important to understand yourself, to understand what you stand for. And as soon as you know yourself, try to align your actions, your set of thoughts, the kind of people you allow in your circle, the kind of life you are leading, to be aligned with these values. And there's nobody who can tell you what your values or principles are. It's something that you know in the core of your being. And it's also maybe related to your intuition. So just trust your gut feeling. And as soon as you align yourself, you will each day be able to work towards and get closer to that version of yourself that you can respect, that can you love, that you can look up to. I always have this kind of intention that I'm setting up for myself. And it's in a loving, beautiful way. It's just, I want to be able to look up to myself, with pride, with appreciation, with respect. So that's what I'm doing every day and what I'm trying my best. And of course, it's not easy, it's an ongoing process, but that's one of my main purposes. As a second tool, I would say not to speak negatively about yourself. Like, literally don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke, because your body doesn't know the difference between a joke and what is real. And the words that you are uttering, the thoughts that you are thinking, they create energy, and this energy goes into your body and it creates feelings and emotions. And although we don't have to always take ourselves too seriously, it's still not very beneficial to speak about ourselves negatively. So try to catch yourself and notice yourself. In which moments do you speak negatively about yourself? In which situations? What is the trigger? And once you notice this kind of moments, try to replace them with a kinder narrative, more positive words for yourself. Be more gentle and more kind. As a third tool, I would say, and this one, it's a big one, at least for me, I will admit it, it's to stop comparing ourselves with others. This step and this tool, I think it's so important, and I think it takes so much energy to compare ourselves with others. And simply because I feel like we are being compared through our entire life, and maybe it's not the case for everybody. It was the case for me. I hope it's not the case for you, but if it is the case for you, you know what I'm talking about. Like, as you grow up, you are being compared to your siblings. You go to school, you are being compared to your colleagues. You start working, you are being compared with your peers in terms of results and goals and extras. So, although I think there's this overview that comparison can be good because it makes you more driven, more ambitious, I really think there are other ways to find your ambition and your drive and your passion. Simply because comparing with others also can create feelings of envy, of jealousy, of resentments. And all these feelings are based on superficial factors, because let's be honest, we know ourselves since the day one, since the day we were born. We've been living in our shoes for our entire lives, so we know ourselves 100%. We know our strengths as well as we know our weaknesses. Whereas the people we compare ourselves with, we don't know, maybe only 1% or 10% that they are willing to share with us and to display. So it's no point to compare 100% of yourself to the 1% of the other person. We don't know what the challenges and the struggles are behind the journey of the other person. So it's really wasted energy. And I think if we take all that energy and we put it onto our own growth, our results will be much better. It's much more important to focus on our own progress, on our own healing, and we will automatically see increase in our levels of self-love and happiness. Yeah, so there's room for everybody. We are all tested in different ways. We are all given a different set of cards, so there's no point in comparing with others. So yeah, let's be proud of creating our own individual path, our own way. I'm really someone who is very supportive of that, of creating your own path from scratch. And sometimes that can mean even working hard without any applause, but if you believe in yourself, that's the most important at the end of the day, because you're the one you're spending the most time with, so your opinion matters the most. As a fourth tool, I would say let's talk more about our blessings and about our achievements. And I'm completely in about let's be humble, let's be modest. I think it's quite important to be that. But at the same time, I think it's important to count our blessings and achievements and to take some time to appreciate how far we have arrived, like literally allocate moments daily to express gratitude for everything that we have, for everything that we have done. Because being in a state of gratitude will help us attract more positive things. If you simulate a feeling of abundance, more abundance will come in our life. So the more time we spend into this kind of emotions and feelings of gratitude, of love, of abundance, the more blessings we attract our way. So yes, let's talk about our problems less, because of course they're there. We all have little problems here and there, but let's emphasize the blessings and our gratitude for what we already have. And lastly, as number 5, I would say to repeat mantras of self-love. I'm totally for positive affirmations, and I think self-love comes more easily for others than for some. It really depends, but if it comes more difficult, I think the mantras of self-love can work really well, because as I said previously, our body doesn't know the difference between a joke, between a thought, and between a positive affirmation. So if we keep repeating these positive affirmations, our body starts to believe them and feel them in every cell in your body. So I will just give an example of a mantra. You can write it down if you like it, and you can repeat it sometimes. At the same time, you can create your own mantra. You can create your own sentence that can work for you. Some words that can have some power of self-love. So I will just say mine. I am love. Everything in me and outside of me is love. Today I choose to repeat this and commit to this. I am love. Anything else I have chosen to believe, it's false evidence appearing real. What I choose to see as real today is love, and only love. I am love. So I will just repeat the last part because I like it very much. Anything else I have chosen to believe, it's false evidence appearing real. What I choose to see real today, it's love, and only love. I am love. I hope you like this mantra, but also, like I said, you can even research some other mantras for self-love that you might like better, or you can create your own. Sometimes I find the words we create for ourselves can be very powerful because we know ourselves to the roots of our being. So sometimes our own words can be even more healing. So just maybe go a bit inside and find your own mantra. And as we are reaching the end of this episode, I would like to also say a little poem from Naira Wahid. It's like a poem that I really like. And I think it's relevant as well as we are setting into a new year and we are letting go of maybe 2020, or maybe we want to let go of more than 2020. We want to let go of some versions of ourselves, some past selves, some past experiences. So the poem goes like this. The old life, it's an old life. One you have already lived. One you do not have to keep on living. You are too wondrous for one life. I really hope you found this helpful today. I hope you will practice some of these tools that I have shared with you and refresh them at times when you feel it's needed. Try to apply them in your daily life and experience the difference. Maybe you will start seeing new changes. And even the same way I have chosen a word to guide me throughout the year, the word love, maybe you can choose your own word that will guide you throughout your year. And just to finish, I would just like to say that it's quite relevant for me, these things that we have talked about throughout this episode, simply because I feel like everything that we are and that we attract in our lives, it is related to how much we love ourselves. Yes, so that's why we should pay attention to the relationship we have with ourselves. Thank you so much for listening to Open Hearts. I hope you were able to listen to this episode with an open heart, and I try to keep mine open throughout this entire podcast. I hope you will share this episode with some of your friends or with someone that you think might need to hear these words. I'm so very grateful to have you here, and I hope to see you as well next time.